Trey Radel is a former Republican congressman who was caught a few years back buying cocaine. So he was basically forced to resign, but now he has a book out, and he was interviewed by the Washington Post. And I want to share some of that with you. So they ask him, if Donald Trump got busted buying cocaine, would the scandal end his presidency? And Trey Radel said, Donald Trump is Teflon Don. I do know this, Donald Trump's most hardcore ardent supporters aren't bothered by a damn thing, and that goes to show both the disdain for Washington, D.C. and passion for anyone who goes against it. I know I sure didn't help with the approval ratings of Congress if we had the popularity of a root canal. I probably brought them down to the level of a colonoscopy myself. Washington Post asks, do you think in this era where everyone is on social media their whole lives, and with the attitude on drugs changing, that scandals 20 years from now will be entirely different from what they're like today? And then Radel says, yeah. I think in 20 years, we potentially will have a president who sent out a dirty pic. He actually said dick pic, but they wrote dirty. I think in 20 years, maybe we'll have a female president who went to Mardi Gras and did something on Bourbon Street. I think that all of these things are not just possible, they're going to happen. Okay. I think that's right. I think he's right. And I also think that's a good thing. I do. I think that fake classiness and the kabuki theater of politics is actually a bad thing. Like, this is the establishment is like, I can't believe you say that. Because, in fact, that's the only reason they dislike Donald Trump. Decorum. Decorum is the only reason the establishment's against Trump. And how do I know this? Take, for example, Morning Joe, the epitome of the establishment. They've been going after Trump a lot recently. But Neil Gorsuch, the Supreme Court, Trump's pick to be on the Supreme Court, in his hearing, guys, this guy is every bit as loathsome as Trump and his ideology. He's baby Scalia. He agrees with Antonin Scalia, that loathsome cretin, on virtually everything. But since Gorsuch is buttoned down, wears his tie, speaks like a gentleman, is very measured in his response, they love him. They adore him. So that proves what? If he's got the same ideology as Scalia, he's every bit as loathsome as Trump, but he just puts a happy face on it. It ain't about the actual ideas. It's about the decorum. And that's one part about politics where, I mean, I despise it because I think it allows people to mask really bad people. Like, it allows you to, put some polish on a war criminal. I mean, that George Bush, Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, all these people should be in jail because there are people, and because, oh, look, they speak in full sentences with Bush only some of the time. But, of course, come on, we can't be against them. I would love it if you had presidents who keep it real. Now, Donald Trump gives the facade of keeping it real without actually keeping it real. Like, he's a straight shooter, but he doesn't actually straight shoot. Like, he looks like he's doing it, but he's not doing it. He's lying all the fucking time. But I like that. I like it when people drop the mask and stop playing the game and drop the kabuki theater and they just keep it real. So I think he's right about that. And yeah, I don't like... Naked pictures, sexting is so fucking common, that it's inevitable you're going to have a president that sexted. I mean, it's just like another version of hooking up now. Like insofar, like all these, Bill Clinton, of course, Obama, all these presidents, I don't care how fucking far, Eisenhower was getting hand jobs in the back of an old school Chevy when he was younger, okay? That's what happened. But you didn't know about it. They didn't have the same means of communication. Now you have cell phones, you have smartphones. If you don't have time to meet up and get the handy in the back of the Chevy, well, what happens? I don't know. Send me your titties. And then it happens. And so, of course, you're going to have it. And that's not a bad thing. I'm tired of, like, the remnants of the Puritanism and Victorianism that's left in society. And then furthermore, like, Trey Radel could have actually taken a stand on this, but he didn't. I mean, he did at first, and then eventually I think the Republicans kind of forced him to resign. But I have an answer for the first question in this, which is, hey, would Donald Trump have been taken down? No, he wouldn't have. If Donald Trump got caught with cocaine, he wouldn't have been taken down. You want to know why? Because he would have Donald Trump that shit. He would have said, no, No. And not even necessarily no, like I didn't do it, but he just would say, no, I'm not stepping down. He's like, yeah, I made some mistakes. It's something that I've done a few times in my life. I'm not happy about it, but it's okay. We're focusing on making America great again. We're going to pass this tremendous healthcare bill. Let me just tell you. I have to tell you. Believe me. We're going to make sure we bring jobs back. It's so important. So important. We're going to have jobs. We're going to have infrastructure. We're working on it now. And we need to focus on the American people. The media, fake news media, the lamestream media is distracting people from the real issues at hand here. And we're going to focus on that. And he wouldn't get taken down by cocaine. So, like Trey Radel, you could have done it. People don't realize that a scandal is only a scandal if you admit it's a scandal. Seriously. So you want, like, a real scandal, for example, is Donald Trump saying, we have to take out their families. We have to take out their families. Talking about the families of terrorists, not just the terrorists, the family members, aunts, uncles, kids, babies, fucking innocent parents. We have to take them out. That's a real scandal. But guess what? The media didn't pounce on it. And anytime anybody ever brought it up, you just go, no. And then you just move along. So then it wasn't a scandal. So with the media that's as shitty as the media we have, something's only a scandal when you admit it's a scandal. If you come out and show the world your ballsack and say, yeah, I was caught buying cocaine, whatevs, yo. And by the way, I actually have some degree of sympathy for Trey Radel, because usually these guys are hypocrites where, like, he'll be a drug warrior and his voting record will be against drugs, but then he does drugs. That's actually not true. In Trey Radel's case, there were only 2 votes that he was in Congress for that were on drugs, and he was on the right side of both of them. And I think it was about hemp. Like, hey, should hemp can still be illegal? And he said, no, it's not the fucking same as marijuana, and I'm, of course, let hemp. And even on police issues, you would say, oh, is he a hypocrite because he sides with the police all the time? No, he actually sided against the police like 85% of the time or something in his voting record. So he's not a hypocrite. So in a way, I feel sympathy for him that he had to step down for doing something where he's like, it's my decision, piss off. So you got to double down on it, and you got to say, it's not a big deal. It's just a fucking substance. Are we going to impeach Mitch McConnell for chugging whiskey when he gets off work? By the way, I have no idea if Mitch McConnell drinks whiskey. But whiskey's a shitty fucking drug. So cocaine, yeah, powerful drug, but whiskey's powerful as fuck too. So what are we going to do? Are we going to go after him for that? No. So piss off. Get off my ass if I get caught with something like this. So you gotta be strong. You gotta double down. And yeah, I don't think this is a big deal. Trey Radel was loathsome in other ways. Like he voted against the reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act. He wanted to do a full repeal of Obamacare. So I'm not fully defending him here. I'm just saying he wasn't a hypocrite on the drug issue. And as far as Republicans go, with his 3 sane votes, that makes him a lot more reasonable than other Republicans. But yeah, I don't think Trump would step down if that were to happen. And I think it actually would be a good thing when we get to the point where a president has sent a dick pic or a titty/ass/pussy pic.